Today, the problems of armor operations arising out of United States defense commitments abroad are being met by dramatic new programs in the training of armor personnel and the development of new and more effective armored equipment and fighting concepts. Fort Knox, Kentucky is the Army Training Center for advanced individual training in armor. In the Armor Training Brigade, the soldier who has had his general basic training will learn how to drive, load, fire, and maintain tanks and mechanized equipment and become familiar with armor communications.
Okay, push your starter switch and start her up.
On latest training devices, he receives instruction in these operations.
Okay, driver, put it in low gear and move out. When you reach 6 to 10 miles per hour, put it in high gear.
Driver training is presented using mock-ups, which contain controls identical to those he will have to operate in an actual tank.
Okay, driver, turn right. Okay, stop, driver, and put it in reverse.
The instructor follows the progress of the student on a control console. The console also allows the instructor to program malfunctions into the training device to determine the student's ability to overcome driving problems.
Stop, driver, put it in low and move out.
Each company in the training brigade spends 1 week on the driving range. Here they first witness driving demonstrations by the instructors. Each student gets practical experience in tank driving under careful supervision. An 8-mile drive with students operating their vehicles in formation is a feature of the course.
Justice, any questions now before we start sending messages? I will correct any mistakes. Put on your headsets, touch your boom mic in front of your mouth.
Training in all of the operational elements of the armored vehicle is essential, so that each member of the crew can take over the job of the other in an emergency. These men are receiving instruction in tank radio telephone procedures.
Let's go ahead and start. Oxford Canal 5, this is Oxford Canal 50, over.
This is Oxford Canal 5. Forward elements have encountered light resistance in vicinity of Alamo, over.
This is Oxford Canal 50, roger out. Oxford Canal 6, this is Oxford Canal 50. Over.
In swiftly moving armor operations, accurate communication among armor units is essential. Use of proper code words and brevity of the spoken message ensures quick response and reaction.
This is Oscar Canal 14. Have spotted one section on Viet Cong on Route 19 between Binding and Placao, over.
These targets are on the dry fire range at Fort Knox. In this training, gunners learn how to sight a tank weapon without actually firing it. An electronic device records a simulated hit if the sighting is on target. Further and more concentrated armor education is provided at the U.S. Armor School at Fort Knox, which trains leaders and technicians, both officer and enlisted, on the organization, equipment, and doctrine for armor units. A group of armor soldiers gets acquainted with a training simulator for the highly sophisticated Armored Reconnaissance Airborne Assault Vehicle M551, known as the General Sheridan. However, most of the field units are still equipped with the M60 tank, and much of the training is directed toward its functions and capabilities. On this M60 training device, the student tank crew learns how to handle armor components, such as the main battle gun. Each member of the armor crew learns proper operational procedures. He must also learn to detect any electronic or mechanical failures which may threaten the unit mission and take corrective measures.
It controls the blackout drive, the blackout markers, the stoplight, and the service drive. To operate
in the Armor School Automotive Department, the student receives realistic training on all the automotive features of the armor vehicle to which he may be assigned.
Now, to move our switch to the on position, what must we do? Lieutenant Williams?
Enlisted men are taught how to maintain various armored vehicles, while commissioned students learn techniques for management of their maintenance programs. The ability to move rapidly and decisively in combat may depend on lessons learned at the Armor School. Varied training devices used at the school vividly illustrate the operating parts of armored vehicles.
To begin with, turning the engine on, you will notice the rocker arms up on the top side of the engine. The yellow rocker arm, when it is depressed, indicates the injector nozzle is injecting fuel into the cylinder.
This is commonly known as the L-head engine. Now we have the 4 strokes in this engine as the intake, compression, power, and exhaust. Now you'll notice as the valve mechanism works up and down in the engine, you can follow the 4-stroke cycle.
Instruction in all phases of armor may be recorded by a television for Army-wide use. Mobile TV units, manned by expert technicians, can cover demonstrations anywhere on the post or within a wide area of the region where the training center is located. A control room at the Fort Knox Television Training Center is equipped with latest monitoring equipment, which can channel closed-circuit armor educational programs directly to classrooms on the post. Taping facilities provide an additional capability for electronic programming of armor instruction. Prepared through the most modern training methods, with a total knowledge of his vehicle and its equipment, the armor student moves on to one of the most important phases of his military education, leadership. The combat leadership course at the Armor School stresses student participation in solving practical problems of judgment and decision. On this terrain board, problems, many of them based on historic armor engagements, are presented to the students for solution.
We will now go into the 9th situation, which is a logical continuance of the last situation.
In the fast-moving situations that arise from the use of armor on the battlefield, the armor leader must be able to make decisions, give orders, and take action quickly. His decisions must be accurate and timed to the military emergency.
Your platoon has advanced this far along your route of march. You have identified a crossing site slightly upstream from your present location. Your infantry squad leader, who identified the crossing site, has also identified possible enemy armor to your front. At this stage, you are faced with 2 problems. 1, how to get your platoon from their present location across the ford and continue the attack. And 2, what you must do about the presence of identified armor on the high ground to your front. Gentlemen, what are your actions and orders at this time? Corporal Hill.
Sir, Corporal Hill. Helper 2, this is Dixie 1-6. Keep me informed. Out. Dixie, this is Dixie 1-6. Keep on the lookout for enemy armor. Dixie 1-2 and Dixie 1-3, move to fording point. Dixie 1-4 and Dixie 1-5, follow me. Out.
Is there anything more that you would like to add to your transmission at this time?
No, sir.
Thank you. What has he done wrong?
The armor soldier is in a highly specialized combat arm that must always keep a step ahead of a growing technology.
The students have also
But it is the men and not the machines who win or lose battles. The armor commander must be able to apply his knowledge and leadership in a variety of Army missions, both in conventional military operations and in counterinsurgency type activities.
And that is to advise the company commander. You must send a spot report to the company commander.
Full-scale field exercises give the armor soldier an opportunity to use his individually learned knowledge as a member of a combat team. Now he is prepared for assignment wherever U.S. Army commitments call for his specialized skills.